Imagine walking outside and finding a baby, alone, strapped into a car seat, left on your front lawn. What would you do? That's exactly what happened to a resident of Tigret, Tennessee. But what began as a bizarre mystery would soon unravel into one of the most brutal crimes in the state's recent history. Just hours after the baby was found, police uncovered a horrific scene. 4 family members shot to death in the woods, 40 miles away. And at the center of it all, one man, Austin Drummond. This is a story that begins not with a crime, but with a loving family. The victims of this tragedy were Cortney Rose, a 38-year-old mother, her 15-year-old son Braydon Williams, her 20-year-old daughter Adrianna Williams, and Adrianna's 21-year-old boyfriend, James Wilson. Together, James and Adrianna were the proud parents of a baby girl. This child, who would soon become the center of a massive police investigation, lost her entire immediate family in a single, tragic event. The events began on July 29, 2025, when a 911 call came in from Tigret. A baby had been left on a front lawn in a car seat. She was safe, but no one knew who she was or where her parents were. A 911 caller reported a vehicle had dropped the baby off, sparking an immediate investigation. The search for the baby's family quickly took a grim turn. That same day, a relative of the victims, concerned that they hadn't been seen since the night before, called 911 after finding 2 of the family's vehicles in a remote area near Reelfoot Lake in Tiptonville. In the nearby woods, police made the horrific discovery: the bodies of Cortney, Braydon, Adrianna, and James. All 4 had been shot. This discovery launched a massive multi-county manhunt for a single suspect, Austin Robert Drummond, a 28-year-old man who was known to the family. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, or TBI, quickly identified Austin Drummond as the prime suspect, labeling him as armed and dangerous. Authorities also revealed that his girlfriend is the sister of the baby's grandmother, Cortney Rose, creating a disturbing personal connection. Prosecutors believe this was a targeted attack, not random violence. Warrants were issued charging Drummond with 4 counts of first-degree murder, aggravated kidnapping for abandoning the baby, and multiple weapons offenses. Authorities focused on Drummond early in the investigation because of his direct ties to the victims and criminal past. The manhunt was intense, with law enforcement releasing surveillance footage showing Drummond in a residential area, armed with a black rifle and wearing camouflage. During the manhunt, a key piece of evidence was uncovered. Police found an unoccupied car in Jackson, Tennessee, that they believed Drummond had been driving. This discovery helped place him in the area of the murders and helped trace his movements between the crime scene and his escape route, providing physical evidence that linked him to the events. The case took a turn when authorities arrested 3 other individuals in connection with the murders. Tanaka Brown, 29, who faces a charge of accessory after the fact to first-degree murder, as well as tampering with evidence. Giovante Thomas, 29, also charged with accessory after the fact. And Dira Sanders, 23, charged with accessory after the fact and described by the TBI as an associate of Drummond. Their exact roles in helping Drummond escape are still under investigation. The search for Drummond came to an end on August 5th, after citizens called in tips. It was a single, brave call that ultimately provided the crucial information police needed to make the arrest.
When I called 911, I just told her, like, I don't want to make a big thing on this, but I know you've been working hard to get this guy, and I'm not sure if it's him or not, but you need to know there is somebody back there. And she was like, hold on. So, and because I've been working since probably 6 or 7 years around this area, I know all the location, address, and all that. And she told me, like, do you know where you are? And I was like, yes, I'm between from this address and this address. And she said, like, okay, I got it. And I think I was while still on the phone when they got there immediately, and the helicopter and everything. That was, I mean, they moved really quick, and so they really did a good job.
Authorities were able to locate and apprehend him in Jackson, Tennessee, a city about 70 miles from the murder scene. His arrest brought a sense of relief to the community, but left many with more questions than answers. One of the biggest mysteries in this case is the motive. Why would Drummond commit such a brutal act, only to show what police called a sign of compassion by leaving the baby alive in a place where she would be found? While a definitive motive has not been publicly released, some chilling details have emerged. The most shocking among them relate directly to Austin Drummond's background and his ties to the family. This was a man with a history of violence who was already a convicted felon, and at the time of the murders, he was out on bail for an attempted murder charge he received while in prison. Compounding this, his girlfriend, who is also the sister of the baby's grandmother, Cortney Rose, was allegedly a corrections officer at Northwest Correctional Complex, where Drummond had been incarcerated. It has also been reported that she was fired over their affair and is pregnant with his child. This relationship, coupled with Drummond's criminal history, provides some insight into the potential dynamics at play. To understand the man accused of this crime, we must look at his past. Austin Drummond's criminal record is extensive and sheds light on his history of violence and disregard for the law. Court records show that as a 16-year-old, he was convicted of aggravated robbery for holding up a gas station with a BB gun. During a later parole hearing, he admitted to making threats against the jurors who convicted him. His time in prison was marked by more than 24 disciplinary issues, including assault, possession of a deadly weapon, and gang activity. In a shocking detail, he was even charged with attempted murder for an incident that occurred while he was incarcerated. When he was released from prison, he was out on bond for these other charges, a fact that has raised questions about the legal system. This history paints a picture of a man with a long-standing pattern of violent behavior. The capture of Austin Drummond may have ended the manhunt, but it is just the beginning of a long legal process.
As Director Rouse said, this was phase one. The real work starts, and the lengthy work will start at this point. Investigations do not end when a person is arrested. That's just the part to get them into custody. This investigation is going to go on for a good period of time.
On August 7th, 2025, the legal process against Austin Drummond began as he appeared before a judge in Tiptonville via video feed from jail. During the brief hearing, Drummond expressed his desire for a speedy trial. However, the mood in the courtroom grew somber as District Attorney Danny Goodman informed the judge that the state intends to seek the death penalty.
First, kind of just an overview for this morning's hearing. You also stated that the state does plan to pursue the death penalty in this case?
Yes, at this time we do.
What kind of is all the decision-making that goes behind deciding to pursue charges that severe?
Well, there are aggravating factors in Tennessee. We have to look at those statutory factors, and I think that he does meet the ones that we have to have, so we're going to seek the death penalty.
Because of the capital nature of the case, Lake County General Sessions Judge Andrew T. Cook ordered Drummond to be held without bond and entered a not guilty plea on his behalf.
It's the court's responsibility to take into consideration the safety posed to the community. The court finds that the defendant will be held without bond, and he'll be remanded into the custody of the Lake County Sheriff's Department, pending all appearances and hearings in this matter.
Outside the courtroom, the grief and anger of the victims' families were palpable. Kim Hamill, the mother of James Wilson, clutched a large portrait of her son, his girlfriend, and their baby as she spoke. "He took them all," she said, referring to Drummond. "It's not just the loss of our son, it's the loss of our daughter-in-law, of Braydon, of everybody, of Cortney. It's a whole family gone. It's unbelievable." James Wilson's father, Matt Wilson, described him as a good parent, a good brother, and a damn good son. This case is a stark reminder of the complexities of human behavior and the devastating impact of violence. It leaves us with many questions, but for the community of Tiptonville, there is at least one small comfort. The baby girl is safe and being cared for. What are your thoughts on this tragic story? Do you think justice will be served? Share your opinions in the comments below. This case is still developing, and new details are emerging daily. We'll be following the case closely, so be sure to subscribe to stay up to date as the legal battle unfolds.